every day somebody's mentioning Ron DeSantis to me. And they're talking about how colossally, how royally, how astronomically he's screwing up. I'm going to let you in on what he's doing and what the globalists' strategy is to try to get people to back Ron DeSantis against Donald Trump. Number one, Ron has been legislating with a pen like crazy for the last couple of months to try to trick people into thinking that he's so conservative. He's so like, these laws are being reported on as anti-LGBT, or they're racist, or there's, all kinds of reporting on the legislation that he's inking. This legislation that he's inking is so people think that he's the best thing since sliced bread, right? Super conservative people that are MAGA. But what people don't understand, that this is part of a larger strategy to make Ron DeSantis more attractive for the presidential run. Unfortunately, it's backfiring for him. Fortunately for us, it's backfiring. Because all the legislation that he is inking in Florida at the moment, and I live here, is purely strategy based. His lieutenant governor, who's a rhino, more so than he has proven himself to be, will simply undo all the legislation that Ron inked, should he be installed in the presidency, to make us feel like elections work. If you listen to Styx, Exenhammer, I posted it a couple of days ago about his brilliant analysis regarding our elections and how they always had the primaries locked up, but the 2016 election, they just didn't think that they would have to go to the lengths that they did in 2020 to secure it, because they simply thought that Americans wouldn't take Donald Trump seriously, and they did. So all this legislation that he's inking is just to make people feel like he's a safe bet, he's a shoo-in, he's a mensch, he's a good guy, he's one of us, he's safe to put into the presidency. But when you look at his donors, then you realize the poison behind him, because many of his donors backed Obama, backed Romney. So you always follow the money. I wonder if to all those saying that we should only focus on Ron DeSantis' policies if elected president and not focus on who his donors are, let me remind you of an old saying. Money talks, bullshit walks. Money talks big time in establishment politics. Beware of Ron DeSantis. Kenneth C. Griffin, $5 million as an individual. Kenneth C. Griffin, CEO of Citadel Investment Group, a global investment firm, hedge fund manager, Koala Holdings, African leader in energy and infrastructure, formerly known as Citadel Capital. University of Chicago, Department of Economics is where he graduated from. Named a young global leader by the World Economic Forum. Ta-da! Surprise, surprise. It's not a surprise. Oh my God, you're seeing all my bullshit. Okay, let me, donated over $1 million to the Obama Foundation. Donated over $1 million to former Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush. Biggest donor to former Chicago mayor, Democrat Rahm Emanuel. Interesting. Says it is time for the Republican Party to leave Donald Trump and back Ron DeSantis. Is it though? Next one, Ann Diaz, who was appointed by the Fox Corporation Board of Directors in March 2019 as the founder and chief executive officer of Aragon Global Management, an investment fund focused on global media, technology, and telecommunications companies. Ms. Diaz was a founding member of Viking Global Investors, a portfolio manager at Soros Fund Management. Super interesting, don't you think? Paul Tudor Jones from my old hometown of Greenwich, Connecticut. James Pallotta. Paul Tudor Jones, hedge fund manager. Listed on Greenwich Economic Forum website. A global investment conference designed to explore the defining issues of our times. Donated $750,000. He's not as bad as Griffin or Diaz, but let me assure you, fund managers aren't who they propose themselves or who they present themselves to be. Sorry, my nose itches. It's a lot of allergies down here, a lot of rain. This is a rainy season. James Pallotta donated $521,325. Former vice chairman at Tudor Investment Corporation, which is Paul Tudor Jones's company. Founder and manager of Raptor Group Capital Management. I'm not doing a deep dive to see who Raptor and who Tudor Jones invests in, but I'm almost positive it will be like ESG shit. Sam Nazarian, $179,000. Persian American businessman, investor, and philanthropist. Hosted numerous fundraising events for both presidential candidates, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, at two of SBE's venues in West Hollywood. Cool. J.W. Childs, a firm that is focused on venture capital investments in biotechnology and pharmaceuticals. Biotechnology, which is what they're hoping to thwart the technocracy, the tyrannical technocracy, dystopian future for you people. I've lived a long life. I may look young, but I've been on this planet for a while. But if you're young, don't vote for Ron DeSantis. Vote for Donald Trump, even if he's in jail, because they're going to try to put him in jail. Keep in mind, political donations are not tax deductible, which means these are investments. The question is Ron DeSantis for sale, or has he already been sold? Buyer beware. That's from Skylar the Patriot on Instagram. So, me having moved from Connecticut to Florida because of tyrannical narratives that were coming out of the White House in 2020, 2021. Remember when Joe Biden was threatening to lock down and not allow people to travel state to state if they didn't take this. That was enough for me to get the F out of there, because if I'm going to get stuck somewhere, I want to get stuck in a red state. And I also went through an incredible amount of stress with my job and this. And I held strong. And thank God. Thank God I did. Thank God I'm a rebel naturally. And very discerning and super analytical. That's why I want you to listen to me about Ron DeSantis. I did a letter to Ron DeSantis not that long ago on this channel. And I urge you to watch that, because I have this sixth sense when it comes to politicians and to people like Bill Barr, Trey Gowdy, Jim Jordan, all these people that Kevin McCarthy, which I fought tooth and nail against and tried to do video work on that too, to say, no, he's not the person America needs. And now he just fucked over the middle class with this debt ceiling bullshit that he just passed. I am somebody you should listen to. I'm incredibly intuitive. I'm incredibly switched on when it comes to who you can trust and who you can't. Albeit I was fooled about Ron DeSantis, but in my defense, when I moved here, he wasn't planning on running against MAGA. I think Romney is putting his toe into the water. Chris Christie is putting his toe into the water. So they're gonna, Sticks was talking about how they're going to, soak the primaries, with like 9 candidates, which is fine. But Ron DeSantis is really committing career suicide, not with the globalists, but with we the people. And when you find out that your politicians are more concerned with the communists than they are their constituents, that's when you know you're in trouble. And it's no longer a two-party system. It's a uniparty system. And there's basically maybe 2 people who actually work for the American people. I would say that Rand Paul is one of them. Donald Trump is one of them. Matt Gaetz goes back and forth. Marjorie Taylor Greene goes back and forth. It depends on who their donors are, who's lobbying them, and who their allegiance is to. That's the issue. So be careful of Ron DeSantis.